The only thing that matters is your personal relationship with Jesus. What happens when you come to a point in your walk with Christ where you notice yourself losing interest in the things of God? You might find yourself praying for another person, but it's not really coming from your heart. It's more so coming from a place of obligation or feeling like you have to just because you're a Christian. When you start to notice your old nature rising up and those fleshly desires becoming more enticing than the things of the Spirit and the things of God. There may have been a time where you were on fire for God, when you were disciplined, when you loved the things of the Spirit and you loved to pray for people and to do His work. But you just have come to a place where you're like, okay, this is starting to become hard. I feel like this is more of a chore now. This message is coming from my own personal journey and walk with Christ. It doesn't matter how long you've been a believer for, how strong your faith is, how much you love God, how much you had a passion for praying for people, for doing things in the ministry or whatever it is that He's called you into. We can still come to a place where our old nature starts to speak louder than our spiritual one, where we can be enticed to follow our fleshly desires and follow a different way out of the will that God has designed for us. There is no shame, there is no condemnation in this. The fact is, we do live in a world, we are faced with different distractions, temptations, different things vying for our attention every single day. And what I've come to realize is the only thing that matters is our relationship with Jesus Christ. The last thing that you want to do, that I want to do, is to pray for people out of obligation, is to go to church, but only half of your heart is there, or half of you is sitting there. Sometimes we can get so distracted, so focused on doing for God and performing for God that we forget that He only wants a simple relationship with us. He wants to commune with us. He wants to be close with us. So I want to ask you this question today. What else has got your attention? What other desire or thing has stolen that place that God Himself should be in? If you notice that God has dropped from the top place in your heart and something else has taken His place, but you're still doing things for God, you're still going through the motions, doing all the things that a Christian should be doing, but have you moved away from God in your heart? Do you feel far from God? Have you neglected your simple first relationship with Him? The only thing that is going to get us through these difficult times and back on track and wanting to do the things of God is God Himself. He is the one who gives us the desire. He is the one who can put us back on the right track. What's the point of doing this Christian life without Jesus Himself, without the living God and being in a close relationship with Him? Then we become lukewarm. We lose interest. It's no longer coming from a heartfelt desire to serve Jesus Christ. It's coming from an obligation to serve Him because, well, now you're a Christian and you feel like it's your duty, like you have to. You know what? If you find yourself coming to that place, you may as well just take a break from doing anything for Jesus. It's okay to take time out of ministry. It's okay if it's coming from a heart where you feel like you have to, but you don't really want to. It's okay to take time out, to stop what you're doing, take a break from ministry, take a break from anything that God has called you to do, and receive refreshment. Seek Jesus. Re-strengthen your relationship with Him. He is the only one that can keep us walking on this Christian path. Because without relationship with Jesus, we are just Christian doers. But he has called us to be in close relationship with him. He has called us. He has given us a choice because he loves us. He is not forcing us to do his will. He is not forcing us to get out there and pray for people, to do all these things for him. No, his first desire is to be in relationship with us, to walk with us on a daily basis. So don't feel bad if you find that you have moved away from God. Don't feel like you're a bad Christian because you've lost your desire to do anything in the ministry. Check yourself. Check where you're at. Check where your heart is at. And ask yourself this question: have I moved away from my first love? Am I still being poured into from Jesus Christ himself? Or have I become empty? I encourage you to strengthen your relationship with Jesus. Go back to when you first became a Christian, your wonder and awe of God. Ask him questions before you read the Bible. Don't try to read the Bible. Don't make it an obligation. Be honest with God and tell him, you know what, God, I've lost my desire to do anything Christian. I'm struggling in my walk right now. I'm struggling to want to read the Bible. I don't know if I can keep doing what you've called me to do. That is when he's going to step in and he's going to help you. I just want to remind you that you are a son and a daughter of God, first and foremost. And he cares about you as a person. He cares about where you're at. He cares about whether you are half full or empty. He wants to stay in close relationship with you. You are not a Christian doer. You are called to be a daughter or a son to God first. So if you find yourself in that category today where you've fallen from being a son or a daughter to a Christian doer, turn back to your first love. Turn back to Jesus. Ask him to help you. He will help you. He will re-spark your desire again.